Hey, what's up, guys? This is Alex from Beyond the Veil Horror Podcasts, and I'm going to be bringing you another spoiler-free review of Don't Knock Twice. What the fuck? Don't Knock Twice was actually directed by Caradog W. James. If you're not familiar with who he is, he did the movie called The Machine in 2013, and it actually won an award for the Toronto After Dark Film Festival. The story is about a mother played by Katie Sackhoff, who actually is desperately trying to get the love of her daughter back, who is played by Lucy Boynton, and she somehow gets embroiled with a demonic witch, thanks to her daughter. The movie doesn't waste any time at all trying to kick off the scares and roll out the red carpet for the atmosphere. It actually jumps right on in and just keeps on going. And typically, when I see a movie like that, it's usually like an over-budget type thing, but somehow this movie still manages to keep the atmosphere in the movie. It's genuinely creepy, and it actually tends to flow pretty consistently throughout the entire film. And we're not talking just a bunch of cheap scares here, guys. These are like slow burns in a way, but at a fast pace, if that makes sense. It has sort of a paranormal feel to it, with like a curse attached to it, and then throwing in a sort of whodunit ghost story, which could be kind of typical for one of your horror movies, and it kind of is, but somehow Don't Knock Twice seems to pull it off pretty nice. One of the things that I really loved about this film was the music and sort of the score behind the movie. It really kind of gets you into that mood and the atmosphere, and I think it's pivotal in this movie to make it feel the way that it does. They use a sort of traditional method mixed within a sort of synthwave. And it makes sense because James Edward Barker, who actually did composing on The Human Centipede 2 and many other films with like the piano and dark, eerie, creepy stuff. Also, it has Steve Moore, who's known for doing movies like The Guest and Cub, which if you haven't listened to these soundtracks, these are like synthwave, really good atmospheric style music. Katie Sackhoff played the mother in this role, and she did it really well. But it's not too surprising because she actually did a movie called Oculus where she played a mother too. In that film, she was crazy. The daughter, Lucy Boynton, did a really good job of playing, Mom, I don't like you because you left me behind kind of kid, offish and kind of a prick. But she did it really well because a lot of times when I see this in a movie, which is kind of typical, they tend to get annoying. But she did it really well. Her and her boyfriend decide to knock on the door of a mysterious house that looks broken down and messed up. When she does, she unleashes hell all over the place on them. She ends up escaping to her mother's house, who she's not very fond of, to get away from it, and then wraps her mom up in this demonic crazy shit. The witch is like hunting her down, and with her long, scary arms in a silhouette, there's all kinds of creepy things in the dark, doors opening slowly, bodies shifting in the background. These are all really subtle ways to develop an atmosphere they did really well. And it just feels like you don't even know if it's like a witch or what the fuck is going on here. There are quite a few surprises in this film, and the story actually did surprise me a little bit. While it is typical, it does kind of throw you for a loop a little bit in a good way. Now, out of the movies that I have seen that are leaning probably more horror, like The Bye-Bye Man or Rings, I'd say this movie beats it hands down. I have seen some of the reviews for this movie, although I haven't read them, and they're not being too fair. To be honest, I feel like this movie could have been in theaters and done okay. You can get the movie on VOD now on any of your digital marketplaces to watch. You can rent it for about $5 or more, so it's out now. I give this movie an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7.5, only because it does do some typical things, but I still think it does it better than a lot of movies that are doing typical stuff these days. Other than that, that's pretty much it for my spoiler-free review of Don't Knock Twice. If you enjoy this, we actually do a podcast every Monday, Beyond the Veil Horror Podcast, that you can check in on SoundCloud, YouTube, or any of the podcasting sites. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on this movie. Do you want to see it? Have you seen it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Tell us in the comments below. Other than that, guys, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.